Aging, we always have a moment for public comment. If anybody has anything to pertain to this agenda or this agenda that they would like to address, I will give you 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes only.
I would like to address the forensic audit part of our minutes.
Okay.
What was the purpose? I mean, there's not a lot of information in this. I wasn't here last month, but in the minutes it says that a forensic audit from that price range says that you made a motion that would be handled by the commissioners and state's attorney, and you handle the audits required for current business. But are you guys going to come and approach us to handle this, or what was the plan here? Just kind of throw us at the commissioners and say, here, pay this?
We'd like that, but no, that's not. We turn that over to the commissioners. That, and I talked to you about it on the phone when I called you. This was back in, that meeting where she came and talked to us and she wanted us to sign that contract, you know, about the cost of it. Yeah. And that wanted us to do the audit and stuff. And so when I talked to them on the phone, like, we don't see the reason why it should come out of this operating budget, because it happened before we were here.
But don't we think that should be put towards the commissioners as a vote?
Well,
that should be presented to the commissioners as in a meeting to say, hey, we'd like to propose you guys help or assist or whatever you want to call it to pay for this. Not this vote looks like you just said, well, hell, I'm going to make you pay my bill, and that's it. Like I'd be saying, here's my MDU bill, pay this for me.
And I guess I thought I had addressed that with you when I talked to you on the phone, saying we're sending this envelope over to you guys to look at. We feel like legal counsel needs to look at that contract.
Right, and we did. And we said no to move forward with that. But that's not an audit. That's this audit is still not hasn't been taking place. We all know that there needs to be an audit because there's still what Burley did isn't a complete audit. I mean, we're all aware of that needs to happen.
It's not even an audit. She's
right.
Not calling it.
Exactly. So we're still on the same page that has to happen. But to say that we're just paying for this only, that seems like a pretty good slap in the commissioner's face. We have discussed this in the fact that we know that an audit has to happen, but to have a vote to say that this is happening and then not even have anything presented to the commissioners in a meeting is the problem right now. So this needs to be adjusted. That's my concern.
So first of all, I'm sorry that the commissioners took it as a slap in the face, because that's not the way it was meant, as a slap in the face to the commissioners. I think there's been a decrease in communication between the commissioners, our representative, and the board, both ways. I think it's a both-way thing going on that direction. This was not, again, not a slap in the face. I'm sorry that the commissioners took it that way. We had talked earlier about the commissioners, about the Council on Aging being put on the agenda regularly for that, and that didn't happen, right? So I think that there's ways of going forward that this can be worked out better with the county commissioners, putting it on the agenda regularly, so any issues such as repairs, issues that are ongoing can get done. The communication needs to be better both ways. As far as this goes, we had turned over the paperwork we received. We turned over that contract that was requesting that information.
Right, and that the part we agreed on is that, and all the commissioners agreed on that, is that we weren't going to sign that form that they requested that would go back on.
Yeah.
That form, that's where we're at. But the audit part, everybody still knows that an audit needs to happen. That's, we're all aware of that.
What we would like, and as far as it goes on the agenda item, the discussion is that Lori is going to meet with the attorney, the state's attorney tomorrow. Right. And at that time decide what legal audit do we have to do, right? Because that paperwork that was turned over, that whole packet for the last 5 years that the county, that AgeWell did when they put things together, there's $1,000 that's unaccounted for. Does it pay for us to have to do a $10,000 audit? If the state's attorney, and I talked to you about this on the phone that day, according to my notes, if we turn this over and there's $1,000, is anybody going to go after that $1,000? Or does it even pay to spend $10,000 for $1,000 missing? Do we just do the normal audits that's required by the 501c3 status that we have, as required by law? what is our legal obligation? And that is what Lori needs to find out tomorrow.
Right, because going forward, I mean, this looks like we're in deep with,
That's
I mean, the letter that we got, and we'll talk about that when we get further to it. But
so that's where that.
I would like to see somebody come in if they want help with paying for an audit, to present that in front of the commissioners at a meeting, and then we have an actual vote on it, so it's formal.
So can the commissioners always put the council on aging on the agenda like we have requested initially, instead of calling Lori up an hour, 15 minutes expected to come over?
So I think that's the issue, is that they were expecting you guys, if you had issues, to schedule a time, and I think that's what it is.
I think we had kind of said, just like the district health board, the water, like everybody has a schedule, like a lot of time that they come in,
Okay.
on a regular agenda. So if we could get the council on aging put on there on a regular basis, that way I think there'd be better communication across the board. Also, as far as representative, that's commissioner.
Who would
that's
you
on
guys
the
assign
board.
to come?
It would be Lori.
I'll be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what time would work better, Roy?
Morning times, around 10 o'clock.
And then if you can't make it here, or county commissioner can't make it here, if there could be a better communication system going, what did I miss at the meeting? What do I need? Or figure out a time then, if whoever's representing the county commission on our board, if they can make sure that they're staying informed.
Well,
Whether it's
votes
us sending the
like this
minutes.
is the tough part.
Huh?
Votes like this is the tough part. I did not
Okay,
expect.
again, it's not a slap in the face, and I think that taking it personally in the front like that, that's not the way it was meant, and I cannot control how you took it, but that's not the intent. I don't think anybody here, and if anybody else has a thing, we are not slapping the county commissioners in the face. It was not meant as a personal attack on them. And if you would have been here for the conversation, you would have seen that that's not what it was. It's a budgetary thing that we're looking at.
I understand that, but it should have been presented to the commissioners in general. That's my point.
And the commissioner who's our representative could have been here and reached out to see what was going on, right? Communication going both ways.
Okay.
All right?
We're gonna continue this.
Anybody else have anything that they want to talk to Nick about on that? Okay, any other public comment? Okay. Old minutes.
You have to read them. Doesn't somebody read them every week?
We haven't.
Oh, okay.
No, we've just been, they get sent out and then we. Any changes to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve and as given.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Financial report.
Okay. I don't know if many of you know what Rhonda's been going through the last month, but it ended in the death of her mother-in-law, and she's still taking care of all of that stuff right now. Just to tell you from the bank statements that we have right here, our Peter County transit checking has an ending balance of $67,016.09. And then our 12-month CD is at 8727.22, so $87,027.22. Our levy donations checking account that we have is at $21,919.90, and our savings account is at $74,614.42. Now, of that 74,000 is 50,000 that was the former 50,000 odd dollars, I'm not sure what the top is, of the CD that we put into savings to cover the cost of our portion of the vehicles that we'll be getting from the DOT. And I can make copies of this for anybody that wants it.
And I did reach out to, so we won't have a financial report, there won't be anything approved right
Yeah.
after this meeting. I reached out to our current accountant, let her know that we always have our meeting the third Thursday of the month, right? That we should have these reports to Lori by the second Thursday of the month so that we can get them distributed to the members. She had sent me an email saying that she didn't have things ready, and so I let her know that that's not there, so I apologize that it is not ready today.
And then in our nutrition side, our checking account has a balance of $46,568.62. And let me get to the next account. These are my worksheets here that I use for bill paying. And then on our analysis of it, I guess that's just the same information, $46,569.13. So that's what I have, and we will get you guys the P&Ls and the register as soon as she gets it done.
Exciting times. Okay, the director's report.
Director's report. Thanks. Okay. Our meal numbers for January are on this page right here. So we served 648 people. The donations that came in were $1,711. The C1 that we get paid from the state, which is anybody that eats inside of a building, we earned $2,152.72. And our C2s, which is anything that is a meal taken out of the building, frozens, deliveries, people stopping by and picking up something, that was $3,486.90. So this is our new starting for the new year, and we will go forward with a chart that looks very similar to this for every month. Let's see here. Since we do have our new person, this is Ashley. Ashley is our new cook. She has joined our team this week. And, believe me, Stacy and I are very excited. So it has been a long-awaited anticipation for a cook, and she has fit it to a T. We are thankful. And then we would like to look into hiring an in-town driver so that we can start picking up on the people that want to come into the building but don't have a way to get here, using our transit system with our nutrition system and bring them in for the meals. They stay a couple hours, visit with people, stuff like that, and then we take them back home again. We're going to start a publicity on that and hopefully find not only a driver to do it, but also to get people signed up that want to start coming in and socializing, which is one of the biggest problems for our elderly, is not getting out and socializing any longer and the loneliness that follows with it. So we want to try and include them, and some of them will be the people that we even take meals to. We don't know, but we want to look at that. So those are our things.
So we are looking at transporting, like, they could come from Tappan, they could come from Dawson.
I don't know how far out we can reach, but I'm hoping, yes, Tappan's not that far away. You know.
In the county,
Yeah.
and
So, yeah, we are looking to really expand that.
Do you think you're gonna be able to find somebody?
I don't know. That's gonna be the key to it. We're gonna put the fillers out there. It may take as long as it took to get a cook, but put the fillers out there. See what we can find. There's gotta be somebody that wants, 2 or 3 hours a day work and doesn't wanna spend weekends doing a job, so hopefully we can find somebody. We wanna be able to expand to the people that really could use us. And then the next thing is our ridership. It was a little down but not very much when I compared it to last year. So as you can see across the board, how many rides we did for the month, how much we made in fares from people paying us. Fuel costs, total hours that our employees work to do that. And then, of course, on the outside edge, we have their per diem of meals that they do during the day because they are gone at lunchtime. Any questions on that? The VA is making some new paperwork requirements, and that information has gone out to our 2 VA riders that we have. It's a blanket for everybody, using VA, but we already meet the requirements of what we send them, so it doesn't really affect us and how we do our business. It's mainly the person that wants to ride gets a notice from the VA that they have an appointment on this day and the times and everything, and then they give us a copy of that. And as long as they provide that, we get paid by the VA for their rides that day. And then our bus driver, Dave, has proposed a summertime road trip project. Maybe 2 days a month, maybe 1 day a month. We can fit 12 people on the van, get them signed up, get them to buy their ticket to go, and take a day trip to some of the different areas that are in North Dakota, and let people get out, enjoy being on the road. And so he's going to head that up, and we're looking into some interesting little day trips that they can take. So that's going to be upcoming. Now for the biggie, the North Dakota audit update. This is a draft. It is not the final conclusion, because what makes this a conclusion is when they come and sit down with us, either via a telephone call, a Zoom call, and then having one person here in person to meet with a group of people, our board, commissioners, having at least one person from each of those areas to sit in on the meeting, ask questions. As you read through it, it has lots of different areas that they're covering, and the observations that they've made and the recommendations that they're making for us. We will have to make a few adjustments to our cost allocation. They approved the cost allocation that we did turn in, but because of what has happened in the past, they have made some other things that they'd like to see in that cost allocation. So we'll get that updated. It's quite lengthy. I think these turned upside down. I'm sorry, you guys. If you guys turned
No,
upside-
we're good.
Oh, maybe it's just my page, just me.
Just you.
Okay. I guess I don't even know how to attack this report without reading the whole thing, and it's just massive. Things like the employee handbook related policies are outdated, don't reflect current practices that we're actually doing. So that means we have to go back through our handbooks and match it with what we are now practicing today. These things are reflective of what was going on from 2020 to 2024. And these are the issues that they found during that time that we need to go forward with. In 2025, I updated the paperwork so that it was more reflective to what the DOT was asking me for information of, so that when I did my reports to them, I could just look at a piece of paper and go, this is what Dave, my driver, did, and I can put it down in the DOT, and my paperwork matches their paperwork. Much simpler way to do it, and One of their biggest problems was the former director did not do a timesheet on herself. From 2020 to 2024, she only did one time card. I do a time card every month, so we just cleaned that up that fast. Allowable PTO payouts has been changed already in our policy books. It does not reflect what they are showing here. We updated it, defined it a lot better, but they are going, you have to read this report as a 2024 and past report. These are all the things that they saw wrong with it. One of the biggest problems that they had with the policies that we were doing, that they were doing at that time, was that none of the money was separated from nutrition to transit. They threw everything into the nutrition pile, and they paid bills wherever they wanted to pay bills at. And it has been a long-standing rule that you don't mix DOT with any other programs for any reason. And we spent our first 6 months that I was in office updating that, and by July we had it separated out. By August we were going full steam ahead with transit being separate from nutrition. The conclusion on page 8. The audit identified allowable costs totaling $18,283 for the grant year of 2024. Now,
Unallowable.
unallowable. Did I say allowable? Okay, unallowable costs. When they say the grant year, that is actually the grant year of July the 1st of 2023 through June 31st of 2024. That is considered a year. So these are the unallowable costs that they found up to that point. This is not including from July 1st, 2024 through June 31st of 2025. And so the things that we will see on this chart here don't even include the mistakes that were made during those last 6 months that the last director and the board were in place. They chose to go with the 23-24 year and forward instead of calculating all the money that we owe for the years going back to 2020, because basically it would shut us down. In talking with Emily today to get a better feel for what this was about, she said they realized that the extent of this and the stuff that was unsupported would basically break us. We would be done. So they don't want to do that to us, so they are concentrating only 23-24 going forward. So on this page with the multicolors, these are their findings. And on the last page that's just white with a lot of red are the totals that you see from the adjustment summary. Jason, if any of you, Carrie, if any of you, I've got extra copies up here. I forgot to mention that if you want to see it, or if any of my employees want to see it, they can. You can get a hold of me at any time. They concentrated on salaries, 2 salaries in general, which are the things that I brought up to you guys at the end of March of last year, and that is the unsupported salaries of the former bus driver and the unsubstantiated, unique way that the former director was paying herself money. And so they had picked up on that also. And what you're seeing here is an accumulation of what they found just going forward to the point of the end of June 31 of 2024. So if you look at the white page, which is page number 9, this has everything that they decided to focus on at this point. through June 30th of 2024. And on the right-hand side, you can see that the total adjustment was $18,283. We owe that. So they will be doing a exit conference with us, and during that time, we can negotiate how we can pay that back, whether we want to do it in a lump sum, whether we want to work out a payment plan. However, this is the one area that falls on us and not Emmons County because they were not part of the transit, as far as I know, when the last group were here. So when we do this exit conference, we will decide what to do about the 18,000.
Jean, anybody have any comments on this?
It's a lot to take in.
I think that, Jean, being the transit representative, either Dick as the county commissioner or county commissioner, director, and I think the state's attorney should be at that meeting and see if we can recoup some of those costs that were overpaid. How to do that, I think that would lie with that committee, the transit people.
The bulk of it will fall under the unsupported salaries of the bus driver. And like I said, that only goes through the end of June, does not include the bus driver's unsupported documentations going through into 2025.
Are they gonna be looking at that too then, through January or February?
Emily does not know. She is talking to Becky Hansen to see how far they want to go coming forward into this new year. A lot of it has been the fact that we changed how we do our transit stuff and how we separated it all out. We were becoming compliant before they were ever even looking at it to be compliant. So the stuff that I brought to you guys in April, we acted on immediately and started separating everything out. And that's what they wanted to see. So, I mean, seriously, if they wanted to, they could go clear back to 2020. And the director's salary and the bus driver's salaries would be the major portion of how much money we would be owing.
I can vouch for that we were, in January, I was the one trying to put all the stuff together to turn it in, and I think we started almost immediately trying to separate this all out. So, yeah, I think it was a good step in order for us to do that, because I met with Stacy Hansen one of the first times I actually went up to this Bismarck, and I actually sat down and met with them and said, what can we do, or what can I do, or what can I start doing to so we can keep transit? And they were very receptive to helping us out. So, yeah, I think we made good steps right in the beginning.
Does anybody else want to work with this group as far as making sure? I like this report and the fact that their recommendations are nice and clear, what they expect to see from the transit portion. But I think we need more than just, it's going to be work just to make sure that we dot all that stuff. So I think if anybody else wants to work with Jean or
I can help out if we can get a time figured out.
Yeah. Brett said he was willing to help out to make sure that the recommendations are followed and those are gone through. And so I'll leave it up to that, we'll call it the transit committee. Okay. Moving forward to make sure that we are in compliance. Keeping, the transit committee will be made up of the county commissioner and you three, Jean, Lori, and Brett. And they'll make sure that they're communicating back and forth as far as changes and what's going on. Nick can decide if he wants to be that person or who he wants in the county commissioner.
Good.
To be on that.
So-
That sounds good?
And
Positive on that is that we're moving forward, we're
Yes.
making changes, and the transits are here moving forward.
At least we heard from them.
Yeah.
Many months we didn't hear from transit, we didn't know where we were, so this is a step forward.
But now the transit has just gotten bigger and better too, right?
yeah, I tell you, our people love our bus drivers. They really do. Okay, notice of default and opportunity to cure. That is a letter I received from a lawyer, a poster. It is from Burley County, and the fact that I did not turn in paperwork on the 16th of January in a timely manner for Renee Gipp. And my only stump on this is the annual audit of a certified public accountant and the cost of it and what all she's expecting of us. They are expecting us to cover the audit price of 2024 when it was an Emmons-Kidder problem, not just a Kidder County problem, but an Emmons-Kidder. To do an audit like this, of this particular caliber, starts per the year at around $15,000. $5,000 gets you on their docket. The total can be as high as $17,000, $18,000. I don't know if we have that kind of money to do this kind of thing. I can't even find somebody that can take us on before November of this year. And so no matter what, unless they can agree to a better timely audit, we're going to be out a lot of money, and it's going to be probably around September before we can get it done. I do not feel that we should have to prove out 2024. Somewhere along the line, nutrition failed all the way around, from the top coming down. And why Burley County did not catch these things when they did the bookwork for it for 5 years, I don't know, but now we're paying the price. I have the provision number 1 done and sitting, number 2 done and sitting, number 3 is the audit. And I'm just baffled as to where to go. If we could get them to do just a, what they just call a certified, not a certified, but a public accountant to do a review, once again, $5,000 up front, and then could cost as much as $7,000, $8,000 per year. So no matter which way we go, we're looking at some hefty money going in. She wants the audit for 2024 and 2025.
So from 23 June, or 23 July 1st to.
Well, no, they run on a yearly.
Oh, they're on.
Yeah, it gets to be really confusing as to what year I'm in. But on this particular thing, it is from a January to December year. And
So they want 2024 and?
yes, according to this letter that she sent in here. That's what she's asking for.
So part of this is the legal matters about what we're required to do by law. Like I said, Lori is going to meet with Eric Hetland tomorrow. Have him go over, I believe he was sent this.
Yes, I sent him everything.
So she'll meet with him, And then from there, there'll have to be some decisions made about what we have to do legally. The only thing that catches me on this is you need to have an audit no matter what as a nonprofit. Part of that, there are legal obligations, so we do need somebody to do the audit. I don't think we can fight that anyway. That's something that's we're obligated to. So I think that's something we have to do. But they just turned all of our financials and stuff to us at the
End of October.
October. So that's hard to come up with that in that timeframe, especially with how hard it is to find just anybody to do this. But as far as addressing any of this, I think we have to wait till we meet with the state's attorney. Look at anybody else.
I would love somebody to go with me. But, you know, I know you guys are all busy, but if anybody wants to volunteer,
When you doing this?
10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Are you gonna talk transit thing too, or just audit?
No, we're only discussing this.
Do,
Should I?
if you have time to talk transit,
Do you want me to talk about it?
I think so.
Gonna talk transit out, I'd be there tomorrow.
Okay.
Just talk about how you go forward with that, collecting that money, and if you have moving with us, go.
Yeah, I'll be
I think
there
that's
tomorrow,
important.
10 o'clock,
10 o'clock, yeah.
all right. I'll be there.
Will one of the commissioners be there?
Try it.
Or, you?
I doubt it. Charlie would come. I doubt. They're
I'm coming all the way from Robert.
Yeah.
And the roads are really good up there. No. Play more music.
Then
Yeah,
if,
where's it at, Lori?
Over at his office in the courthouse.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
His office isn't at the courthouse.
It's not.
No, it's on the other side.
See, I'm not.
He's on, where the depot is, that,
Probably.
by the bar.
Yeah, but, yeah, just down from the depot, he goes in the corner and then just, yep.
He's in those junky areas.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I thought he had an office in the courthouse this whole time.
okay.
Okay, well, Broadway it is. Okay, so we'll get that taken care of. When he addresses the issue and stuff, I will send you copies of what we are sending Renee, so that, or sending Renee's lawyer, so that you guys are in the know.
It says, hasn't been paid for data entry. You know what that cost is?
Yeah, it's $185, and that's one of those checks I was gonna have you sign.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then,
Oh, and the $2,000, let's talk about that. The $2,000 is the remaining bill on the so-called audit that they did for getting all of our books in order so that they could be audited. We paid them $4,400 and some odd dollars, $25 or something, already. I paid that without even thinking. I just put in a thing for it and got it paid. Thinking now that Emmons had a share in all of that money and all of that work, and they reaped all of the information that we had to pay for. I think we should turn around and ask them to cover half of that cost. So the $2,000, which we had discussed at other board meetings and had put on hold, I think they should pay for half of that also. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. Should we just pay it and get it over with, or should we? I mean, this is, this is one of those things that just kind of drags on you. And at the same time, I don't like paying out $6,000 to somebody who never even told us we were going to be paying them for this work.
and I think this is where it came back to where we had talked about turning it over to the county commissioners, because they're the ones that initiate that review and turn it over, for them to decide how that money should go about being paid and what budget that should come out of. So that was where that motion came from. If the county commissioners feel that Emmons should be part of it prior to where we were involved with any of this, it's hard to constantly go back when we weren't involved in those decisions. to see where they're going with things. But they are the responsibility of the county on aging and the senior center. So we don't know where to go with those things.
Again, we have to put it through a vote. I don't think that the consensus is that what I was told the other day was that the mill levy is the money that we're funding to the council on aging, and anything more, I don't think we can do pull it. That's the consensus I got the other day. That's what I was told, so I don't know where any other further money was from. So would I be happy to say, on my own personal, not as a commissioner, when I say, yeah, let's just pay this money. But as commissioner, my understanding is that all that the council on aging gets is the levy money, and I don't know where to go.
Did the commissioners think, was there any discussion or anything then about the reaching out to Emmons County because of the conversation? Like before, right? And it was, when this was going down, I'm sure you guys were like, what are we doing? Just
Well, it's all been a learning curve for everybody on this.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part, and I can go back to this, like the DOT stuff. Again, this was all happening before any of us were a part of it. So that's my argument, if I can go to that, is why are we being held to this when we're a new party starting this? That's what I'm arguing with them. And even same with some of this stuff. I still have the same opinion on that, but that's my opinion. Again, that's, and they still, everybody wants money for it. It's the whole problem with the situation. It's money, money, money. But I think that, yeah, I think it's worthwhile to try to see if Emmons will pay anything. I mean, what they're going to do, the worst they're going to say is no.
Do you know, and you might not know this, but when Burley County came in and took all the broke work and we were going to clean it up and make it presentable for an audit in the future, did they tell you that they were going to be charging you?
No, we'd never had any conversation or
There was
statements
no
or any
contract written
documentation
down or
saying
anything like
that.
that?
That's the problem.
Yeah. I
That's
think
my
that
problem
came up
with it.
later on when they were happening and they had pulled somebody out of retirement just
Just to
work
do
on
it, yeah.
stuff.
When
But
they
there was
saw
an
how bad it
understanding
was.
there that she was a retired CPA and that she would help us with the audit because she had already put the time in. That all changed, but there was never a formal agreement or anything until that contract came at the end. That again, like we said, it's kind of, this isn't our job, this is your job, but it is our responsibility, but yet we weren't here. And Evans County also is part of it at that point in time, separating these things out. And I don't know, it's just a bit sticky and it's easy to say, let's just move forward, but there should be some accountability for some of this, just,
Through them.
yeah.
I 100% agree with that. And I'm also in that frustration of they never did say that we were going to have to pay for anything. We're going to do this because it's partially their, you know what.
It was.
It was
Because
on their
that's-
watch.
right.
Yeah.
So that's the frustrating part. They let us go for 5 years almost, and then all of a sudden now it's our problem. We're having to pay for it. So I had this, but they also have us tied around the you know what because we are in this trouble of we associate with them. That's where we get all our funding through.
That's right.
So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because literally they can just say, well, we're not going to work with you anymore, and there goes our funding also. So
There goes our meal program.
Right.
So are we gonna pay and then hopefully charge Emmons County and get money from them? Or do we send this $2,000 to them and plus, half of what we spent before?
I
I don't think you're gonna get much out of Emmons County. If you look at that report that they sent us, Burley County says, they said we owed them money, and it was a big chunk. And I don't know where they got that out, because I didn't see anything in there that showed that.
There's nothing that shows that.
But in the end of that, there was like $70,000 or $170,000 they said that they were short on that.
I don't know how much if they took half of operating costs, like we said, we didn't look at any of that because we're like, that was before our time, this is somebody else's problem, we're moving here forward. To see if they'd take half of those salaries, half of this $18,000 that we owe back, or if that money, because that salary money was all convoluted, right? Or half of the operating costs of the building and everything's functioning out of here. Was half of all that taken out of there? Or did they just deposit all their money and not just use it for food? You don't know how any of that was separated out. Okay, so that leaves those people that are, I think we talked to the state's attorney first, see if we can legally get money for them in Skelton.
I'll try to do it tomorrow.
And then come back with more information just legally and how that moves forward.
Sure.
First thing we need to do though is figure out how we can get out of this notice to cure and make some resolutions for that. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about this issue?
I would strongly try to get an audit done for 25.
Mhm.
And then we'll work to do what we can do for 24. At least we show that we're trying to do our end of it, but if we get something done for 25.
Have you found an auditor yet, Lori?
I found two.
Accountant?
I found two.
Because it looks like we need to do an audit, that's part of our fiscal responsibility.
That'll be a good faith move.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a motion to get an audit done for 2025, made by Brett. Is there a second?
I would second that motion, then we know where we are.
And the audit is how costly, did you say?
This particular audit can go as high as 18,000.
And clarify what type of audit we need tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, she's made no bones about it, what she wants.
So make-
Well, for our 2025 audit,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I say 2025 and I say to the auditor, certified public accountant, I need a formal annual audit, they tell me 5,000, get you a holding place, and it can go as high as $18,000. And because our books are out of whack, I'm sure it's not gonna be pretty.
Hopefully.
I mean, our books are actually, to the bank, they are balanced, okay? Our books are balanced. But they want to see where all this money went to and the checks and balances behind all of that. And,
So we have another nice audit letter of the things to correct for the future. And then we do it.
yes.
We've got to do that. Okay. So any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the 2025 audit as required by AgeWell, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries.
I will do it tomorrow.
So easy PTO policy?
Okay, let's see here. QuickBooks is going forward, PTO policy. I don't remember why we're talking about that.
We're talking about the PTO policy because of the short books and staff. Some people cannot use their PTO, we don't allow it, it's use it or lose it policy that we currently have, which I think is fair, so people would just get paid out in huge chunks. But I think what it is, there should be a caveat or 14.1.2 or something in there that if unable to use, so many hours could be carried over. Or it's, I don't know legally if you can pay it out, I think that's what we need to figure out. But I don't think it's fair that if there's no staff and we have employees who are out of the goodness of their hearts staying here so that people can eat, they're penalized and lose their vacation time.
There's a way to word that, as I said in the last minutes and stuff, that we couldn't go without the cook. Just pure and simple. And I've seen it done in the other company that I worked for. You have to have that little caveat in there that says, hey, sometimes crap happens, and this is what we're gonna do with it.
So if you could update that policy on your, and then get it to the board next week, so
Alright.
next month.
Yes.
Okay. Previously, we had authorized Lori to add the QuickBooks account, so that way if we can have profit loss
We would have
statements,
those today.
Stuff done.
Yeah.
if Lori lawyers on that, okay? There was no bylaw changes that came forth, nothing that needed to be corrected. So, no bylaw.
Okay.
Director evaluation, I visited with Lori about that after the last meeting and handed her evaluation. Her evaluation was overall, on a scale of 1 to 5, it was 4s. Down the board, so how I did that was I took the lowest score and the highest score and eliminated those, and then just did an average of the remaining scores that were left. Her knowledge base, her willing to work and help out where needed, sometimes to the detriment of the director's work and paperwork, is amazing. I think we acknowledge that without her and Stacy on board, we would not be here, because nobody had the time or the knowledge to take care of this. So we couldn't have done this without either one of you, so we appreciate that. Things to work on is financial. We have to get financials up to date. We have to be better at getting financial reports done. And those types of things, that's one of our weak areas, is making sure those financials are done and up to date. And so that was where she was at a 3, which is an average for somebody who's been in a position for a year with those things. And then that was the report that will go into the employee file and will remain there. And then Lori is responsible for doing everybody else's evaluations. Okay. Any other old business that we have not talked about?
I have nothing.
New business, the only thing I wanted to bring up is, and the Rural Health Transformation Fund, or money that is out there, there's a small portion of that for transporting people to medical appointments. They haven't opened any of that up, so I think we just need to keep our eyes on that, and coordinate it better, and just keep to see if there's some of that can be used. It can't be, it's a one-time purchase for when things, we can't build anything, you can't even build a garage to house a bus or anything like that, but if it's something that can be done, we should just keep our eyes on any of those funds to get people to appointments. And any other new business other than board member elections? Okay. Hearing no new business, there are 2 board member positions, or 3 board member positions up for election, and we chose that the people that were appointed to the board by the commissioners and not elected are the ones that should come out so that they're elected, and there's a fully elected board. So Paula Mock's position is open. Robin Rewald, her position, and Jean Bond, her position on the board is open. So we're looking for 3 people to come to the board. 3 names, 3 people. I actually would like to nominate Jean Bond to remain on the board for transit.
I second that.
Okay.
Any further nominations for Jean Bond's position? Any further nominations?
I move to cast unanimous ballot for Jean Bond.
Give it a second.
Second.
Okay. Hearing no further nominations and having no other candidates, no reason to vote. Okay. Robin Rewald has asked not to be reappointed. So is there any nominations for Robin Rewald's spot?
She's the treasurer, right?
She's the treasurer, but the new board can decide positions and sort things out.
So you're not locking into,
The treasurer's position.
just a vacant seat.
I do have somebody that's interested, but she couldn't get out of her yard today.
Would you be willing to accept the nomination, or accept it?
She
Okay,
said she would.
would you like to nominate?
I would like to nominate Peggy Barnhart.
Okay.
I could have given her a ride. I never passed her place.
So is that a second?
Sure.
Okay.
Second, we can carpool.
All right. Any other nominations for that position? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations? Nominations now cease. I was waiting for you to say you, Brett.
I
All right.
was asking unanimous ballot for Peggy Barnhart.
All right. Is there a second for the unanimous ballot?
Second?
Okay.
I second Eric.
Okay.
I'm just the second.
All right.
So David's too quiet.
And then my position is up and I'm not seeking to be on the board again. So I reached out and I would like Carrie Truax if she is still willing to join this.
Well, I could join, but I can't take your position.
Most people don't want to. Would refuse to be anything like me, and I get that. No, the board after this, the next item on the agenda should be board position elections. And so you can come on as a regular member if you would like.
Okay,
Just
I can do that.
Carrie accepts the nomination. Is there a second? Yes.
I'll second.
Speak up.
I second the motion.
Okay, any further nominations? Somebody save me. Any further nominations?
I move that we cast unanimous ballot for Carrie Truax.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I suppose I should have done so. All those in favor of Carrie Truax, Peggy Barnhart, and Jean Bond being the new bond, member say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? This is open also to anybody else, so feel free to speak in. All right. That being said, the minutes, when you move forward, will be to remove Robin Rewald and Paula Mock from all bank accounts. Can no longer, you'll have to like individually, the banks like them listed out, right? All the accounts. We'll have to list their names to remove them. And then you're not able to make any business decisions, anything moving forward from the state. This is bittersweet, but I think it's in good hands, so thank you for stepping up. Thank you. Thank you guys for stepping up.
Thank you for getting us started, Paul.
Yeah, there we go. I am leaving. Carrie, you're up. I'm leaving my highlighter.
And enjoy the crowd.
Yeah, for real. For real, you need some board positions and then I think the vice chair takes over.
That Lori handled it too. She's
Okay, yeah. Handle what?
the elections of officers.
I did not know that I even had a vote. I never.
Well, you don't need to vote, but you'll handle the elections because we don't have the president anymore.
Got it. I can put that on my resume now.
You can't have another job.
Okay, I don't even know how to do this.
Just start a president.
Okay, nominations for president of the Kidder County Council on Aging Board are now open. Any nominations? Can I nominate? I didn't think so. Okay.
I nominate Brett.
A second on that?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations?
I deny.
You're not gonna do it? Okay, because I don't know the Robert's Rules of Order, all in favor of Brett being the president of the Council on Aging? say aye. Any nays?
Yeah.
Overruled, unanimous. Well, it's not unanimous, it's. Mr. President, can you take over now?
Yep, we need a vice president.
Okay.
Do any of our offices all separate, or we have some combined? You
I'm just the
secretary,
Secretary, and we have a
and Robin
treasurer,
was treasurer.
Robin.
She's not here now.
and we have a vice president.
Okay. So we'll open up for vice president. Nominations for vice president. I have somebody.
Nominate Carrie.
Okay, Carrie's been nominated.
Do you want that
So
position?
doesn't the vice president from the previous carry over to next year when her position comes back?
Usually we have to all,
Yeah.
So I have-
Carrie is declining that position.
okay. Anyone for vice president? Who's currently serving?
Me,
Jean,
Jean.
yeah.
Somebody,
All right, I nominate Jean.
That's it, she'll do it.
Carrie nominated, second.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? I would look for a nomination. Let's cast a unanimous ballot for Gina.
Seconded,
All in favor?
in favor, aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Gene. Somehow you got that job. Secretary currently is
Autumn?
Autumn.
She clearly likes it.
I think she likes her job.
So I have a nomination for Autumn. Any other nominations for vice president, or secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? I would look for a motion to cast a unanimous ballot.
All in favor?
I'll make the motion to cast unanimous ballot
Do
for
I have a
Autumn.
second?
I'll second that.
I have everybody in favor? Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Autumn. And then we need treasurer.
I nominate Peggy Bernhardt for treasurer.
All right, Peggy Bernhardt has been nominated. Do we have any other nominations for treasurer?
Does she know about that?
Yep, and she said she'd take it, and she's worked at the
Thank-
bank and at the city council.
Thank you.
And she would, state's attorney's office, yeah.
So I look for someone to cast unanimous ballot that we vote in Peggy Bernhardt.
Is that it, is that
That wasn't asked.
it? Somebody else got to talk today besides me.
I
make a
can't.
motion.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, second by Carrie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
And thank you for shaking your head down there when you said, tell them about Peggy. It's like, yes, I thought she'd probably be good at it.
So, any other business that needs to come before this meeting? If not, we are adjourned.
Can I ask about the sink real quick?
Yes, you may.
3, so has that been addressed at all further?
The sink has been addressed, it is done, except for the fact that it won't take water. So there's
That
some
makes it sound
plumbing.
really bad. We actually have it to a point now, Nick, where age in plumbing helps, and the gentleman that figured out the little solution to it has put in a governor, is what I call them. It just downsizes the scope of the amount of water that drains out as fast as it was doing. It was coming out so fast, it was splashing out of the bell.
Good.
And so he choked it down, and now it just hits that hole perfect. And we still have, like, when you put lots of soap suds in it and stuff, we have the proverbial soap suds that bounce out of that bell. But compared to what it was, we're not standing there for 20 minutes draining the sinks. We can actually let them go, and
One at a time.
Yeah, we can't do all three at a time, but it's still one of those things where the plumbing down the line just isn't taking it, but it's also coming out too fast.
Okay.
So they did choke it down.
Our next meeting.
So the Thursday,
Oh, yeah, next meeting.
the 19th of March. Does that work? 4 p.m. That works for everybody, that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you. Emma.
Welcome, Carrie.
Yes.
And now my TV crews.